Let's first look at some old things that I've done. I'm a horrible designer. I'm getting better though. Every day you get a little better. Every day you get a little better. And one of the things you should look for is finding people to help you. I would say showing your designs to other people. Boy, Jean has really helped me a lot, especially alignment. She sits there and says, well, that's not aligned, that's not aligned, that's not aligned, and she helps me a lot. So having somebody sit next to you and see what you're doing or critiquing what you're doing is very important. So Jean in the past has always helped me a lot. More recently, I've been working with somebody named Barry Wingate, but he retired, but he's helped me a lot as far as looking at designs and things like that. So find your mentor and have them help you. Okay, I guess we're done here. I know there's a lot of stuff listed. Just I keep, what happens is if I didn't want to talk about it, I just kept pushing it down to later in the semester, right? So that's why there's a bunch of stuff here probably I won't talk about, but you'll see it's just kind of listed there because I kept pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down. Again, there's some intro to Sketch with some videos you can look at. We'll talk more about making prototypes next week. Today, hopefully, I can get to showing you the basic prototype inside of, what I mean by prototype is having hotspots in Sketch that you can push the button and it goes to another screen with a transition and things like that. You can do that, at least in the version on my laptop, I was able to do that. Hopefully in this one, I don't know. We should have the latest version next semester, I'm sure of that. I don't know about Photoshop and those. But first, let's look at this here. Old layouts, 2010, 2011. I was trying to come up with a new concept for the Zircon website, and these are some of them. I want to show them to you because they're bad. What's bad about them? Squareness, putting everything in a box, changing the logo. Woo! Barry was like, whoosh. Don't change the logo. That's our brand, right? And I made it straight. Well, and I said to Barry, I'm like, well, it doesn't fit my banner, right? Because they have the company logo is kind of this. The company logo is this. The oval like this. See it? Here's me. No, we just make it straight. Barry was like, hey. All these different colors. I got dark blue, light blue. Look at the gradient here, yellow. He's like, what am I looking at? A Christmas tree? Barry was kind of rough on me. Okay. And look at this background with this texture back there, like some texture. And look at this one, even worse. He's like, holy hell, my eyes are going to explode. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, I do lots of bad things too, right? It takes practice and time, right? Practice and time. Finally, we got to a nice layout, and but I have like 5 different colors in there. Look at this blue border here. Look at that, horrible. Okay, so this is like 2011. I think I've gotten better since 2011, but so if you're doing it and people critique your work and it doesn't look like it's beautiful and it takes time. Right? It takes a lot of time and practice. So believe me, I've done a lot. I have some pieces I'm going to download. You don't have to download these. I just put them there so that I could download them so I can put things together. Okay? So what kind of pieces do I have? Oh my gosh. Boy, this is worse than my desktop and my laptop. Hold on, let me put it on the desktop. Again, I have a photo I'm going to use in my layout. We'll talk about size. I have some icons we'll use. We'll talk about making icons and putting them into Sketch. You'll see I have some icons here. You see them there? So I can, basically I'm going to copy and paste these into Sketch from Illustrator, right? Sorry, I want to show all. What else do we have? We have another slideshow. This will be my hero image. It goes through. Beautiful photo there. This guy is now He's getting a PhD in math from Syracuse, I believe, somewhere in New York. I think Syracuse, somewhere like that. And then here is their logo. And then I have a starting sketch file, but I'm not going to start from sketch. We're going to start from scratch. Let's not even look at that because it'll just confuse us. Let's just start from scratch. We're recording. Again, I'm going to start right inside of Sketch today. Sketch, again, is this one right here. There's some links to their website and that I have on there. Again, planning is a little bit. So, again, we're going to plan a website where we have a desktop, iPad, and then cell phone. And then the problem I have with the cell phone one is that the default one that they have in Sketch is very skinny. It's almost like the layout is for an old iPhone, like the iPhone 4 or something like that. So when I do the cell phone one, I'm not going to use the default one. I'm going to go and just choose like an iPhone 8 or something. I just couldn't deal with such a long, skinny thing. The other thing to consider when you're doing a layout is width is fine. You can think about width. We have common widths for computer screens. We have common widths for iPads and things like that. But your height can be almost anything, right? Maybe it's a scrolling website, so you might have a really long one, right? When I got the layouts from the person doing this layout, right? They sent us a Photoshop file that was, really long like this. All of this was included in their comp. From here to here to here. So when we were reviewing and remaking this page, they did Photoshop their layout, their example that they said, oh, this is what we think the layout should be, right? They sent it in a Photoshop file, and it was long like this, right? Long. The whole thing. So don't worry about height. You can change it and adjust it. So how do we start? Well, you'll notice right now it says page 1 over here, right? Okay, so we can change that name over there to whatever we want. Maybe this is my home page, right? So again, there was a little icon up here. I just clicked on it and I called it home page. And now it's called home page. Home page, home page. Hopefully I do that right. This is a little bit tricky trying to get things to be named properly over here, but you can see there's like a little arrow. So we have one page so far, home page. First thing I'm going to do is put artboards out. Now this is not an artboard, it's just kind of like an Illustrator where you have just a plain thing. So you have to build artboards. To build artboards in this program, again, is under Insert. You have artboards right here. So if you choose artboards, you're going to go over here, responsive web, like it says there. Again, I didn't like the mobile one. It's only 320 width by 1024 height. I didn't like that, and I then went and changed it to like an iPhone when I was, or to an iPhone 8. The tablet one is kind of an old tablet too, but it's workable. Now here they give you 2 desktop options. 1024 is kind of an older kind of monitor, but it's still normal. 1440 I think is a good one as well. And basically it's the width of a screen. What they're talking about is the width. I'm going to start with the desktop one. Where did it go? I clicked on it and it jumped on me. There it is. Sorry, it was zoomed in. So you can see it says desktop right there. If you want to bring in rulers so that you can see them, there is rulers like you have in other programs. If I can figure out where the rulers are, I've seen them before. Show rulers is under Canvas, and so that was under View, Canvas, rulers. So you can see rulers, and it gives you a good. In addition, you can put guidelines out. Remember, I was showing you guidelines, but it was really tricky, the type of way to put guidelines in this program. It's not as easy and simple as it is inside of Photoshop. I struggled with using guidelines in this program. Like I said, if you're making something that's longer, because right now it's kind of square, right? This is almost showing you what we call above the fold kind of look, right? And of course, the above the fold is the term from newspapers, right? When it was sitting in the newspaper rack, right? What is visible on the screen? So this is kind of like above the fold. It's showing you everything that would possibly be visible in here. But again, you can have more things down there, like the zircon loom was a big long one, right? So it's simple enough. You could just go down here, put your cursor here, and just drag as long as you want. You're not scaling the things in there. You're just changing the artboard size. So don't be stressed about the size. Width-wise, you might want to keep it formatted right, but height-wise there. First thing I like to do is change the background color. You'll notice when you have your artboard selected, you'll see it says background color over here. And notice I'm not doing the iPad and cell phone version first. I'm just going to build this here with all my artwork. Then I'll do the iPad. Then I'll do the cell phone. And then I'll take the artwork that's here and kind of put it in there. And so you'll be sharing the artwork amongst them. You don't make new artwork, you just share it. First, let's make the background. You notice you have background color here, and I'm like, I want to use the zircon blue, the blue that's on my product. How can I get that? I don't know what it is. I didn't write it down. Remember, we were talking about hexadecimal values and RGB values and HLS values and things like that last class. So what I did was I'm going to steal it by going here and then hitting Command-Shift, of course, 4. Our favorite Command-Shift 4. I'm going to take a screen grab of this. Right? Take a screen grab of the screen there. Then I can come over here to my sketch file and I can insert that image. Now I'm not going to use that image. I'm just going to insert it here into my, where's my desktop. And insert my screen capture here. Boom. And I'm just going to leave it there for now. So the reason why is I can go and steal colors from this when I'm building my layout. So when you're choosing colors, I can come down here. Ooh, I'm going to choose that zircon blue right there, right? Or something like that. Okay? So I'm going to steal that. So for the background color, again, I'm going to select my artboard. Somehow I got it selected here. There we go. I click over here. If you're having problems clicking, you might need to click over here. I've noticed that as well. It's kind of like in Photoshop or Illustrator where you have to go to layers and choose it. Think of this as being your layers are all over here in a fixed area on the left side compared to the floating layers that you would have in Photoshop or Illustrator. So again, I have the background selected. You notice it says background color right here. I can check the box right there, or I can just click on this thing right here, which is the color picker, and we'll check the box. Notice there's an eyedropper right there that shows up. With that eyedropper, I can click on the eyedropper in the color picker, and I can come over and choose the color I want. And I'm trying to choose the dark blue, zircon blue from their logo that is right about there. There we go. So I'm going to have an ugly blue background for right now. Don't worry about the colors. I did not plan anything, just like my ugly designs before. It's more me showing you how to use the tools. Okay, so don't dig me on my thing. Okay, but again, if you're choosing colors inside this program, you can either, again, type in your value. Look, there's an A for, remember we talked about alpha last class? That's the transparency, right? Okay, and you can use the eyedropper to go and suck out from a bitmap. Notice how detailed that was. It went into like the pixels, and you can almost choose down to pixel version, right? It was kind of cool that you can go all the way down to pixel version. Okay, next maybe I'll take a banner and put it at the top. I'm going to put a banner across the top up here. I don't care about size right now. I may change that according to the size of my logo. But let's put a square in the top. So you have basic shapes in this program as well. To put basic shapes in there, you can go underneath Insert. Under Insert is where you put most of your stuff. You see I got image, I got text, I got artboards, I got slices, I got hotspots, I got pencil, I got vector, I got shapes. Ooh, I'm going to put a rectangle in there. And I'm going to draw just a rectangle across the top. Okay, so just like kind of in Illustrator, you have 2 things to each object. Remember, it's kind of like more vector than it is a bitmap. You have a fill and a stroke. Well, they don't call it stroke like in Illustrator, they call it borders here, right? Borders. I'm actually going to turn it off. I don't want borders. Remember my layout from previous Zircon example I showed you? Everything had a black line around it. It was all boxed in. Try not to box everything in, right? You don't ever want to be boxed in yourself. I try to avoid borders now. Openness. My key to designing today is openness. Freedom. So I'm going to turn the borders off, but I do want to fill in there. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to make my own color here. I want a kind of a darker blue. Whoosh, look at that. Beautiful dark blue. I don't know. Maybe write that down so I know what it is. But I gave myself a dark blue. Next, I want to put my logo up there. So to put my logo in my banner, it's already in my thing. I can insert it by going under Insert. How did I do that? No, Add to library. I got to remember how I brought the logo in before. Add as library. No. How did I bring the logo in? I think I copied and pasted from Illustrator. But I think you could bring an Illustrator in. Whatever. Let's go and do that. So I'm going to go back to Illustrator. And I opened up my logo. And here it is. It's kind of black and white, which is okay. I'd rather probably have, I don't know, maybe white. I don't know. We're just going to go with it, what we have right now. So I'm going to copy that by selecting all, Command A, Command C, copy from Illustrator, and you can paste right into Sketch, Command V. You can resize it. I think I showed you last class you can change the color as well. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So again, I have just copied and pasted. When you copy and paste, you'll notice it copies and pastes as a group. Let's look at the layer for a moment over here in the layers. See how it says Group 45? That doesn't tell me much. Maybe I should rename that into Logo or something like that. So it actually shows you all the vector objects. You can see them. See them here? They're vector objects. And so it comes over as kind of a vector like you would have inside of Illustrator. And I can change the name by double clicking on it, and I'm going to call it Logo. There you go. So keep your stuff organized, because once you start putting pieces on, it's going to get bigger, 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 bigger. So we'll start putting folders and making names of things and putting them in here so that it stays organized. Okay, we will do that eventually. Right now all we have is a rectangle and a logo, and that's fine. Looks wonderful. Next, I want to have a search bar in my banner up there. Maybe I'll make this a little smaller. There we go. Let me move that up a little bit. I'm not being very precise right here. Just kind of being a little bit there. Okay. So I have my logo in there. Again, I just copied and pasted from Illustrator. Next, I want to bring in a search box. I want to have a search box up here because I want people to search, and I might put my phone number in there. I know a lot of companies put their phone number in their banner too if you're expecting people to call. The reason why we don't have our phone number in there is we don't want people to call. We want them to look on the website and try and find the answer before they call. So it just depends on, if you have a call center. I have like 2 people that are on call Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 or whatever. It's not very good call center, so we don't really put the phone number in there, but there. Let's put a search box up there though first there. So of course I'm not going to make a search box. Woo, I'm lazy. Plus I might want to use a standard kind of search box. Okay, so to do that, you have under Insert, you have the common iOS UI designs right there. Okay, and iOS UI designs here. These are common text ones, and we're going to make our own text ones here. I'm not going to use these text ones. And I might use these if I'm making an app, because these are, look at the San Francisco Pro, you see it, and so on like that. I'm going to avoid that. If I'm making an app, though, I might use these because they're common for app design. But for web design, I can use some of these up here, the iOS UI designs, and I'm going to use the bar, and I'm going to use search, and I'm going to do search bar. And it puts it out there, well, somewhere. Oh, here, got to click. And it's pretty ugly. It doesn't look right. Okay, so each one of those pieces that you bring out here are a library item. Okay, what a library item is pre-made graphics that are in the program, but you can adjust them. And then once you adjust them, they become part of your file, and you can reuse that again. How to adjust this and use it, because I want to have a solid white background or something so that people can see it on this dark blue background, is I double click on it and it'll take me into an editing mode. So if I double click on this right here, it's going to ask you, hey, do you want to unlink from the library? In this case, I'm going to say yes, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to personalize this search box for this file. And so if I say unlink from library right here, what it's going to do is it's going to go into here, and then of course you have the options over here to change things. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see my search bar. Again, it has the same things, Command plus to zoom in like you would inside of Photoshop or Illustrator. And again, you also hit the space bar to get a hand, right? See the hand to move things around. So the common keyboard commands that you use in those other programs are very similar here. Of course, I don't want this background being dark gray like this. So I'm going to double click on it, and it takes me to the kind of editing features, and I can change the fill. Right now it's at a 12% opacity. That's why I can't see it, because it's transparent and going through to that ugly blue background that I made. I'm going to change it to like a white, or almost white, maybe a light gray. And then I'm going to change the opacity up to 100%. You can type in 100. I don't have to sit there and dial with my mouse. Okay, so I have changed the search box to a gray. Where is it again? Gray, 100%. So I'm all done. Look at up in the upper left corner. It says return to instance up there. So if I go back here and I say return to instance, it'll come back. Oh, there it is. I can resize it as well. I know I'm making things a little bit too big today, but just so that you can see them. And if you wanted to change the text that's in there, you can change the text as well, but you get the idea that you can go and customize your stuff up there if you use any of those built-in UI elements just by double-clicking on it, and you can customize it for yourself. I would probably make the text, search text there, probably black or something easier to see, or a little bit darker gray. It has a little magnifying glass in there, as you can see, and so on. So there's a bunch of pre-made things in there. Plus, you can download a whole bunch. There's a lot of pre-made things in there. Okay, everybody cool so far? You ready to move on? I made my banner. Next, I'm going to make my navigational bar, and I'm going to make it really ugly. I'm sorry, just so that we can learn some things. I'm going to add a gradient to my buttons. It's okay. It's going to be a little ugly, but we should learn how to make a gradient in this program. First thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to make kind of a banner that goes across for my navigational bar. So let me insert that. I'm going to insert a kind of a banner that goes across, and so let's just put a little banner or a little navigational bar. Let's give that some color. No border. Let's give it some color. I'm going to make it even a different color. Let's make it this ugly blue. Can you see there's a little different blue there? We're doing all kinds of ugly colors today. There we go. Ugly blue color. Next, I'm going to start making my navigational bars. I'm going to actually have, you can see I got home, tools, how to, support, about, and then I'm just going to do those 5. Okay? And they're going to be boxes and somewhat, I don't know, some kind of ugly box. So again, let's insert an ugly box. Rectangle. Now I'm going to kind of start where the logo is. This will be kind of the edge of the website, right? This is really the edge. So I'm just going to, don't worry about size yet. I'm going to put them out there, and then I'm going to resize them so that they all fit properly. So right now I just put a box out there, estimating how big the navigational bar will be, right? Don't worry about it yet. I'll copy it across. If it's too big, we'll shrink it down. If it's too small, we'll make it bigger. It's okay, it'll scale them all proportionally, right? So that they're all even. So let's not worry about size right now. Again, you have an edge here, and this will be my edge in my site. So the reason why this is the edge is if it's a really big monitor, everything over there will just be the color that you see here. So I got ugly colors. Same with here on the edge here where the search bar is, boom, everything over there. I'm not going to worry about it. So this is kind of my layout will be between the edge of the search box and the logo there. Everything will be inside there. That'll be my margin, right? You guys do your code in HTML margin. So let's, we're going to make a gradient in here. Ooh, this is going to be fun. And what I mean by that, it's going to be pretty ugly. I probably shouldn't do that, but I want to show you how to make a gradient. Okay, so again, I'm going to leave this box here so we can see it. So I'm going to actually make a border. I know I lied and said I didn't want to use boxies, but for today, I'm going to have a little boxy border. So I'm going to have a color. And you'll see, I'm going to exaggerate it and put 2. Let me zoom in a little bit too. Again, same of the Photoshop, same as that. There you go. So I'm going to exaggerate with this ugly black border right here. But I want to have a gradient in here. Right now you'll notice it says fill right here. But the fill is kind of boring right there. It's just a solid color. So how do I make a gradient? If I clicked on it, you'll see these options that go across the top. What are these options? I clicked on the color. You have a linear gradient. Of course, you have your oval gradient. You have an angular gradient. You have a pattern fill. And then you have a texture fill or noise fill. Okay, and so I just want to have a gradient, so I'm going to choose this one right here. It says gradient right there, boom, and it's going to put a gradient, and you have two, just like in there, you have two colors, one on one side, one on the other. So we'll keep with our blue. I'm going to put nice light blue on one side at the top, and then over here on this side, I'm going to put a darker blue. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful, ugly, 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 ugly button. Okay, so there is an ability to do a gradient. How you do a gradient in this program, again, is to click here on fill, and you can choose that. Now, I don't use much gradients, but one place that you might want to use gradients is in apps. I kind of don't mind having gradient backgrounds of my apps. So, a gradient and kind of just adds a little bit, I think, to your app. I get sick of just plain ugly colors in my background, so gradient. I think we did do some gradients when we did the National Park app last semester. I think we didn't really do a gradient back there, something like that. Okay, so a gradient, and then of course we need to put our text in there. To put text on the screen, you go under Insert Text right there. And what did I say the first button was? Home, right? So we're going to go home. Let's talk about text for a moment. For this program, again, to do text, you go under Insert Text. It puts text on the screen. You can type in your text. First thing you can do is you can choose font over here. It depends on the font you have. My laptop has Roboto on it, and so the defaulted to kind of Roboto. But this one's defaulting to SF, the Apple one, SF Pro. You can put in whatever font you want. In this case, you got a list. You can see them there. I might just leave the SF Pro for right now. And so let's just leave it there. Maybe make it semi-bold. How about that? And then let's change the color to a nice light color. Let's leave it at that. And then there is some options in there for decorations, underline, and things like that. And then I'm going to move it on top. So to move it, you just click off it, and then you can drag it. One thing I'm going to do is center align it so that when I type the other fonts, I'm going to duplicate this across so that, I got home, I got tools, I got that. When I duplicate it, I want it to all grow from the center. So you'll notice I have center aligned when I put my text and my button there. So I have this the way I want it. Now, in order to, once you have it the way you want it, you might want to save that style so that you can use it over and over again, right? Having consistent text that you use over and over again will make your apps and your designs much better because all the text is the same size. It's a common mistake that a lot of us make is that we tend to, I tend to use different size text sometimes, and text going like this on your designs is not good. So I'm actually going to save this. So again, I have 36 size, white, semi-bold, SF Pro. To save it, it says no text style. Here, we're going to click on that. We're going to actually save this. I'm going to save that right here where it says new text style. See it right there? New text style. And we can give it a name. This is going to be not our home style, but this will be our navigation text. We'll call it navigation text. Navigation text? How about that? Oosh, I just clicked off. There it is, navigation text. What else do I want to do? Nothing right now. Let's move on. So my next thing is you'll notice over here I have my rectangle and I have my home right here. This is my button for my home button right here, right? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to group that together, and then I'm going to duplicate it across and retype the text for each button. To do the grouping is just like you would group inside of Illustrator or Photoshop and those. I select both of the items, so I want my rectangle that you see here, which is my button, and I hold the Shift key down and select my text. To do a group, I'm going to go under Layer, or not Layer, where was it? Now there's a group in here. Insert group. No, it was under layer. Where did I do grouping? Arrange group. That's it. It was under arrange group. So I'm going to group that together. And of course, we can then give that a name as well over here. And let's call it home button. Like that, home button. Okay, so I have a home button. Next, I'm going to duplicate that for my others. As you can see here, I have what? Tools, how to, support, and about. Do you see that? So again here, don't worry about size yet. I'm going to put them all the way across, and then I'll resize them so that they all fit properly. To duplicate, of course, you can hold down the magic key on the keyboard, which is the Option key, and click and drag. And I'm going to hold the Shift key down so it lines up nice. And let me zoom in. So Option, click and drag. Oh, I just put a guideline on there. I didn't want to do that. We'll talk about guidelines a little bit in a little bit. So I'm going to line this up so that the borders are on top of each other. Do you see that? I use the arrow keys on the keyboard to nudge it. In fact, Photoshop uses the term nudge. Of course, I just said that this is going to be called Tools. So I'm going to open up this, and of course this is going to be called Tools button. Right there, see how it says Tools button? I'm going to twirl the triangle down there, select the text, and double click on it, and it's going to be called Tools. Oh, all caps, all caps, all caps. Tools. Like that. So again, get used to you looking over here. Where's my text? You might need to twirl the triangle down. Find your text. Make those decisions there. Do you see that? Next, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to duplicate that again. Again, I'm going to click on the button itself, the whole thing here, the whole thing. See how I selected here? Again, Option, click and drag. Maybe nudge it so the borders are on top of each other. Twirl this down, and this is going to be what? What was the? Does anybody remember? How to. So I'm going to double click on this text, and we'll type in how to. How to. Again, let's change the name here. How to button. There we go. Okay, we got two more to make. Again, very quickly, select the entire thing there. Option is the magic key on the keyboard. Click and drag. Shift keeps it nice and aligned. Nudge it if you have to. There we go. The next one I think is blog, support, and about. I'm just going to do support. So again, this is going to be support button. So I have that. Twirl this down, grab your text. This text now is going to be support. All uppercase letters. Support. And then last one is about. So I'm going to select it, the entire thing here. And I'm going to go over here and let's duplicate that. And we can nudge that a little bit. And then again, this one's going to be called about. And then we could twirl that down. We can change the text. And we'll call it about. Okay. So now you'll notice it didn't line up with the edge of my, right? I want my stuff to go all the way over there to the edge of the search box. So I'm gonna kind of scale it, not really scale the text though. The text is gonna stay the same size. We're gonna just scale all the rectangles, but I'm gonna scale everything. I'm gonna select the text as well because the text needs to move with the stuff as well. So to scale everything so it's lined up properly, I'm going to select them all. Again, you select things by using the Shift key. I'm going to select them all. Oops. Hold on. Let me try this again. Shift. Wow. It doesn't like that. Shift. No, I can't select everything here. Why is it doing? Oh, that's the mouse. It's this horrible mouse. It doesn't have a. You got to click right on the edge there. There we go. I'm going to select them all right there. You'll notice you have your little rectangle there, and I'm going to scale them. Notice how the text is adjusting as well. See that? As I'm moving it, see how the text is moving? And I'm going to put it at the edge of my thing there. So again, I was able to scale it so it fits in there, and I have a nice navigational bar. And one thing to think about this, though, is you'll notice here is it's yellow right there. Reason why is that's how we indicate that you know what section you're in when you're navigating through the menus. See how it's yellow here? So this is home. Remember, I'm making the home page, right? So I'm going to yellow that real quick there. Let me yellow this real quick here. Yellow it up. Again, if you just select it, you can come over to fill, and we can give it a yellow color. There we go. There we go. Nice yellow color there. Blue and yellow. Okay, so next I'm going to bring in my hero image. I'm going to have a hero image right here. So one of the things I wanted with my hero image, almost like you see here, is that it's tinted, right? What I mean by tinted is there's a color over top of it so that the text can stand out from there. One thing I didn't like about this program is that ability. You know, in Photoshop, much better, much more options to do things like tinting and stuff like that. In this program, you know, I tried several different ways of tinting. I tried different blending modes. None of them really, nowhere near what I could really get out of Photoshop. So if you want to do if you want to have an example of a tint or something, maybe do it before you bring it into this program is what I'm trying to say. And don't try to tint in this program if you think that Photoshop is better. So to bring in my picture again, to do a hero image right here, I'm going to go under Insert Image right there. And in the Insert Image, I can bring in my pieces here. Here's my slide image one here, and it brings it in. And I'm going to scale it a little bit so it fits my size, and not very precise right now, but I'm trying to do this quickly. So again, I have a hero image. It looks great, wonderful, but I want it to be tinted, and then I want to have some text over top like I have here. So you do have options to do this kind of tinting kind of thing to it. If I click on it, you'll notice you have options over here. One of the things you could do is a fill color right here under fill, and when you click fill, it just boom, it just puts a color on there. You see that? Well, it put the gray on there, so I don't really want gray. I'm going to do a light kind of blue tint, and then I'm going to turn the opacity. Now they do have a blending mode here, and of course if you know blending modes, you can choose them. These are the same blending modes you have in Photoshop, right? But none of these really worked properly for what I wanted. Look at that. Whoosh. Woo! Look at that one. Okay, so they do have blending modes, and they do have opacity. So it is similar to what you could do in Photoshop. I was struggling with it. So I might go opacity. Let's make this a little darker. Whoosh. Maybe. And then so again, it's under fill. It was called fill there. And then I want to give it an opacity of like 40%, maybe 50%. Okay, something like that. I don't know. You get the idea. So how I did a tint was I selected the image and I went to fill. Again, the option is fill right here. Puts a fill color over top of it. Okay, selected the image, went to fill here. And I do have borders for things like images. You got shadow, inner shadow, outer shadow. You have a blur and adjust color. It's okay. I'm more used to Photoshop doing something like this than I am in this program. But there is the ability to do a tint. How about we call it tint-like effect? Next, let's put our banner text on there, or our hero text, as you can see right here. And then this was a really struggle with this program, is the ability to change the color. Notice how it says Zircon Corporation in yellow, and this is all white, right? I don't know. I struggled and I couldn't figure out how to change the text color. It wants to have it wants one color in your text box, right? I don't know. Maybe some of you can figure that out for me, but I haven't figured out how to have different colors in the same text box. once I tried to change this to yellow, it changed everything to yellow. The other thing is that bothered me is when you draw a box to make a text box for an area of text, it doesn't visibly show you the size of the box. And so what I mean by that is here we have a text box here, right? I use the text tool and then I draw the box so that I know how big the box is. So that when I'm typing my text, it'll wrap, right? When text gets to the end of a line, it wraps, right? So I want to make a text box, but it wasn't visually showing me the text box. And I was like, and it was hard for me to figure that out. I was struggling with, that kind of thing. So text, first I'm going to do deselect the thing. So here we go. Let's put in some text. So to put in some text, I'm going to go under Insert Text right here, right? And then it goes, and I'm going to draw a box. See how I'm going to hold it? No, I didn't click. I'm holding the mouse and I'm dragging to put the box out. Okay, this is how I would do it in Illustrator as well, right? If in Illustrator you just click, it puts a line of text. If you want a text area, you click and drag. Okay, so here's my text area. I'm going to release the mouse, and boom, the text is there. And you're like, what happened to the box? I made a box. That box is still there. Why is the text here? Well, remember, center align. Yeah. If I hit left align, it's going to go over to here. Watch. There. Okay. But I don't see the box I drew. That box is there. It's just invisible. Watch when I type the text. Let's just randomly type some text because I'm running out of time here. See how it wrapped to the edge of what I made, right? See that? See how it wrapped? So I don't know. Maybe there's an option. There we go. I'm going to leave it like that. Maybe there's an option to turn the box on, but that text area I drew doesn't give me a visual representation of how big it is. You can change the size of the box too. You're thinking, oh, I can change the size of the box. Okay, maybe I want to rewrap that. If I click on the box, how did I do that? I did change the size of the box. Hold on, there was a way to do it. Maybe if I click off and then click on. There we go. Sometimes remember, just like in Illustrator, you got to click off and click on. I click off and on. Now it's showing me the size of the box. Right? Now I can see it. And I can resize it as well. Remember, the text will actually wrap as well. So if I go and try and change, see how the text is wrapping. But that bothered me that I didn't visually see when I was making it, right? It was hard for me. Then the other thing, remember, I said, oh, I wanted to make the text yellow. So I highlighted this, like it is down here in my sample. And then I go over here to my fill, right here, fill for text fill color, right? And I choose yellow, and look, the whole thing turns. I did not find a way to have multiple text. There probably is a way, maybe. I don't know. I didn't find that. Probably the way to do it would be to, now I think I figured it out. Yeah. I had to think about it. Don't use fill. Here we go. Go down to the bottom. Oh, no, there is no. Yeah. There's a color here. What is this color? No, that's not going to work. I got color here, color there. I don't know. If anybody can figure that out in this program, let me know, because I would love to learn. I haven't figured it out. Okay, almost done with our homepage, and we'll make an iPad, let's just blow the iPad off, and let's just make a cell phone one, so something like that. I don't know. Then we'll make another page, and we'll link to it in a half hour. Be okay? Yes?
What if you click on the text and uncheck the fill?
Mm-hmm. Let's try it. So we want to change this first line here, and then unchange the fill. Brilliant. Nice. We did it. Highlight the text and uncheck the fill, because the fill is like going over to the original color. So the fill here is going over this color, right? See how it's red here? This is the color of the text here, right? When I chose the fill, it was taking color and putting it over top of the text. But if I select the text and uncheck the fill, it gives me the original color. Brilliant, thank you. Did you understand that? No. Okay, let's look again. You got a body of text here. We have a color, red. See it right there, right? But it's yellow or whatever color here, right? Well, what is making this 8 yellow is a fill that's over top of the text. So by highlighting the text and turning the fill off, this color won't be in that area. Right? So here, I want to make this 8 right here a different color, right? I select the 8, and, oh, there's no checkbox for turning it off. Oh, no, it did everything. I don't know. It seemed to work. Do this and turn it off. That worked. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you just want to use the color that's under weight.
Uh-huh.
So you highlight the text and change that color.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so let's do, I don't know, I want to have some stuff down here. Let's take and make an image that's in a box so we can practice our masking. So maybe one of the boxes under here is Zircon International, so that they want to go to the international page, they click on a box that says, you know, it has a map of the Earth. So I'm going to go find a map of the Earth, and I'm going to put it in a box here, and I'm going to make it want to fit the size of the box. So let's say, let me zoom out a little bit here. Let me move my graphic down, and we get this. Let's say I wanted to have like 1, 2, 3 boxes that go across there. Very common in a WordPress layout, right? Right? If you go to a WordPress layout, they usually have under the hero image like 3 different areas. So to simulate that, I'm going to insert my insert a shape. How about a rectangle shape? And I'm going to make a rectangle kind of squarish looking shape here. And then let's duplicate that across. And duplicate that across. And then they're a little bit too big, so let's shrink them down a little bit. There we go. Uh-oh. What did I do there? Did I not have everything selected? Oh, no, I think it's right. No? Oh, no, that one didn't shrink down to the size there. Hopefully they're all the same size. I didn't have it selected. Whatever. I have 3 different boxes here, so this is kind of an area that, you know, you would have 3 different options, maybe 3 different things. So I just put 3 different boxes in there. A common way of laying out stuff. So I want to have like an international zircon kind of thing here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go find my map. So let's go get a map. Let's go get a map. I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to steal today. I know stealing is not right, but let's go Google Images and kind of say Earth, map. And let's see, we want to put a map in there. Let's see, a map. This is kind of nice. I don't like this such big Antarctica. I do like the color of this though. So maybe we just have this top part in there. I don't know if I like the grid in there. No. This one's quite nice. It has different color continents, right? Doesn't quite fit, but I'm going to use this one. So if you want, you can steal right from the internet by copying and pasting right into Sketch. So in this case, I can right-click here and say Copy Image. You see that? Copy Image. I'm in Firefox. Then I go back to Sketch and I can just paste. Let me move this down. And say Edit, Paste, Paste. Paste my image in there. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. I'm going to scale a little bit. Oh, it's not letting me scale too much. I thought I could distort. There is a way to distort over here. Resizing, fill, replace, distort. Oh, turn off the height and width here. See, there's like a little lock there, and then I can distort it. I'm going to distort it a little bit. Just distort. Whatever. I distorted it a little bit. You probably should find something that fits an appropriate size. So let's make it a little bit not quite distorted and kind of move it around. Okay, so you'll notice that my map is a little larger than the rectangle. So what I want to do is I want to use the rectangle to mask out the things that are outside of the map. So a simple mask, a mask that we do in Photoshop, mask you would do anywhere. To do the mask here, I'm going to put it over top. Notice how my rectangle is here. I got one rectangle. They got eyeballs here that you have in Photoshop right there. So I have this one right here. This is the one that's underneath there. I'm going to move it up so it's underneath the bitmap. So again, you want these two things to be next to each other. You want the bitmap to be over top of the rectangle to do a mask. Okay? The bitmap to be over top of the rectangle that you want to mask. To do the masking, you select the rectangle that you want to mask, or an oval, or whatever vector shape you make. Go into, where's mask? Layer, mask, uses mask. When you do this uses mask, it takes anything that's above it and mask it. Okay, again, remember the map is bigger. So if I hit uses mask, boom, it'll then cut out everything that's outside the rectangle, hence the term mask. I'll do that again. Let's talk about it because it takes me a while to remember all these steps as well. Again, I have a bitmap, which is basically a map, and it's over top of a rectangle, right? So they're next to each other in my layer over here. They're next to each other over here. So in this case, I'm going to choose the rectangle first, and then go underneath layer, mask, uses mask, and that will then cut out everything that's outside the rectangle. Boom, and you have a mask. You can also give your mask a border if you want, so you have a line around it. I know I said I don't like lines around everything, but I'm just pointing it out. Okay, so that's a very common thing to do. Okay, let's move on, because I'm running out of time here. So I have kind of a basic layout for a home page. Okay, so let's think about, and of course I could keep adding more and more to this, but I'm going to move on to doing other screens. So if you want to do a layout now for an iPad, you can insert an iPad. How do I insert an iPad? Again, you go under Insert, Artboard. We're putting another artboard out there. In this case, you got your tablet here if you want. You can double click and it puts a tablet out there. Next, if you want to do, let's say, a cell phone as well, you can go and you can duplicate this as well, or you can just go and again insert artboard, and it'll come in. It says mobile here, but again, I didn't like that mobile. This again is 320 by 1024, which is like, you know, that's like iPhone 4. So, you know, I want to, you know, kind of, most modern people have at least an iPhone 6 and above, right? Some of us still have flip phones, don't we? Jennifer. My mother still has a flip phone, I think, yes. You don't want to, I told her if she gets a smartphone, she can send me pictures. I said, wouldn't it be nice? You can see the kids. You can see the grandkids. She still has to buy a smartphone. So instead of doing this mobile, I'm going to change it to the phone one, right? You can change it to phone here. So instead of using this one right here, I'm going to change it to, you can do Apple or Android there, and then choose whatever phone you want to do your layout into. You know, the SE is kind of a small screen, you know. So I'm going to do iPhone, which is 375 by 667, whatever. So again, I just did the iPhone 8. Maybe 320, I don't know. Whatever. Okay, let's talk about this now. You'll notice the first thing you'll see over here in the layout area here is it's kind of messy over here. You have your desktop, you have your tablet, and then you have your iPhone. You see them here. It's over here. So you might want to start organizing things. Maybe take the mask that you made and group that together. Remember the group that you can do? You can do group under Arrange, Group right here. And I put that in a group. That was my map, right? My Earth map. So I put that in there. What else? There's my text. Here's my slideshow image. Here's my buttons. They're all over here. Here's my rectangle across the bar at the top. You have your search box, and you got your logo there. So you have all these. how do I get them to be in my tablet or in my iPhone? Probably the easiest way to do that and put these is to actually duplicate them in the layer that I found over here. Duplicate it over here and put it into it and then rearrange and resize it the way you want it. So let's start at the top. I have my logo or my rectangle here, right here. See my rectangle here? I want to put this rectangle in my phone at the top. To put it in my phone at the top, I'm going to use the command key, or no, option key. Oh, it's locked? Oh, no, it's not locked. Command key. Hold on, I got to remember how I did this. And I'm going to duplicate it, drag it right there into the iPhone layer right there, and release my mouse. And it did put it over there. How come I don't? Oh, it dragged it. Oh, I don't want to do that. Why? Put that back in there. There is a way to duplicate. I'm holding down the wrong key. Hold on, let me. Oh, there it is. It is option key. I'm holding down option key and dragging into there, but I didn't duplicate it. Okay, I'm struggling here with this. I was able to do that. How did I do that? Sure it wasn't option? Locks it. My version, I was able to do that. There we go. The logo worked. Okay, I don't know what I was doing wrong. I'm holding down option, click and drag right into the... For some reason that rectangle doesn't want to do that. But the logo worked fine. See how the logo came over here? Do you see that? What am I doing wrong with this rectangle? What am I doing wrong? What is this rectangle? This is this one. Option, click and drag. That worked. And then, so I don't know what's wrong with the first rectangle. So let's make this a little bigger. Let's shrink this down. I mean, you can copy and paste things over here. I can copy and paste this as well from here to over there. Oh, no, that didn't work. There's something wrong with this rectangle here. Now it's in the tablet right there. See that? Option, click and drag. Oh, there it is. Now it's in there. I don't know. I'm struggling with getting it. I'm going to copy, click and drag down here again. There it is. I don't know. For some reason, this rectangle is being evil here. And why is it there? And to reorder things, you can drag them in here as well. See how? Oh, there's a rectangle over top of this. Delete that. No. I don't know. Let's just go there. What I'm trying to say is you can copy and you can drag things from down here up to this layer, and it puts it into this. So let me I'm going to put this rectangle that you see here, this dark blue color, and put it underneath my logo. Ooh, not inside my logo, under my logo. We can lock this too. No. Let's take the logo and put it above the rectangle. There we go. So let's make this smaller, make this bigger. Let's take the search box that is here as well. If I can find my, oh, here it is, search box right here. Again, I'm holding down option and I'm going to drag into the logo area up here. Oh, why did it put it in the logo? It's put it here. There we go. Let's move it down and I don't know where it's at now. Right. Arrow key this down. There it is. Okay, here's my search box as well. So I'm going to shrink that down so it fits. So we got search box. I want my buttons that are here. I got my home button here. Again, I'm holding down option key and I'm dragging into my iPhone 8 area up here. So I got my home button. And let me zoom in so you can see it over there. I got my ugly home button here, and I can resize it now. And then I can take my tools button and resize that as well. There we go. And then I want to take my how-to button. And where did that go? It went outside. And where is it now? One of the things I don't like is how things get outside the visible area and then I can't select them. I don't know how to fix that. Anybody know how to deal with that? See how it's outside the visible area over here? I don't know. The only way that I found, there we go. I'm holding an arrow key and dragging it. There we go. There we go. Whatever, you get the idea. I'm not going to sit there and put all the buttons on there. But what I'm trying to show you is that to take things from this area and put them into your there, you can simply duplicate them here into the iPhone. There is the easiest way. It needs to be inside this kind of group right here so that it knows it's in there. See that? Right there. So I have a desktop. Oh, this is outside. No wonder it's not. This needs to go inside there. There we go. No? Why is that? Can't get you in there? No? Whatever. There we go. Okay. So I duplicate. Another way that you can duplicate as well is by duplicating the entire artboard. So instead of, you know, that was a tedious process there. Let me move these kind of over a little bit. I'm going to move these artboards over here a little bit. Okay. Another way that you can make another artboard is to dupe. So I have a layout like this. I want to make another one that's very similar to what I have here. I don't want to have to redo everything. I don't want to have to drag everything. What I can do is I can highlight all this stuff right here or just click on the whole desktop one right here. See the desktop one right here? I can right-click on it here, right-click on it there, and there's a duplicate option right there. That'll duplicate everything that's in that layer. So again, I have a desktop layer over here. I can duplicate it there, and it makes a duplicate. See that right there? So now it's a total copy, all the artwork and everything. Again, how I did that was by right-clicking on the desktop here. There is a duplicate option that makes another one. Okay. That's another way that you can make another page. Now, this is the main page. I want to make a sub-page. We've got 15 minutes. A sub-page, and then we're going to link from the main page to the sub-page. Okay, so I'm going to do something similar. The sub-page is going to be similar to this. Okay, so I'm going to do something similar to that. First thing I'm going to do is, let me undo this for a moment. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to basically duplicate not necessarily the desktop, tablet, or iPhone. I want to duplicate the entire home page so I can make a second, let's say, sub-page. To do that, you'll notice you have this little arrow in the upper corner right here. It's like a little arrow right here. And if I open that up, you'll see I have home and symbols. Basically, what's in the symbols is basically the search box. The symbols is where it stores the things that you pulled out of the iOS. Remember the iOS search box I pulled out? And I changed it, right? Remember I changed it? Well, it stored that changed version in the symbols. That's what's here. You can see it right there. See search box? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to duplicate the entire home page to make a sub-page. To do that, I'm going to right-click on it and say duplicate page right there. And then we'll call this product page. Product page, like that. And so now, and I'm going to zoom out. So now I have a home page and a product page. Now they're both exactly the same because I duplicated, but again, what I could do then is I can delete all this stuff right here. Of course, the menu I want to kind of be the same. Of course, what I don't want is the home button to be yellow right there, so I can change that to back to white, and maybe this is a tool, and I can change that to yellow, whatever, ugly yellow. There we go, because it's just a tool page, right? Next, I can make a tool page the way that I want. Maybe I take some text and I put that on the screen. Let's put some text on the screen. Where's my text? Insert text. And this tool is going to be, what is this tool? This is Breaker ID. Breaker ID, I don't know. You can copy and paste text from the internet as well. If I go to a website, I go to the Zircon page here. And I go to a tool. What did I want? Breaker ID, breaker ID. There we go. And then you can just go and you can highlight text. Boom. Boom. Highlight some text. Copy that. Go back to your layout. Paste it in there. Boom. I don't know. So I'm just saying you can copy and paste. Let's bring in the photo of a product. You can insert an image. Where's the insert image? Here's my product. Whoosh! Too big. Too big. There we go. There we go. Insert image. You want to put some text in there. Again, you can do a text area by clicking and dragging a text area. And you can put your text, and notice it flows around the wrapping of the text. Whatever, you get the idea. So I have a sub-page, product page, right? So now I want to do two things I'm going to show you before we're done. One is you can do a simulation of a prototype by using the tools here. So I want the user to be able to go from the home page when they click on, let me zoom in here. When the user clicks on tools, I want it to go to the tool page, and when the person clicks on home, I want it to go back to here, right? So that's what I want to happen. To do that, I'm going to click on the Tools button right there, and once I click on the Tools button, I want the user to be able to click on Tools and go to the product page. To do that, I'm going to make it a hotspot. What is a hotspot? A hotspot is what it says. It's a spot that can have some programming on it. To do that, I select on the Tools button there. I go underneath Insert. You'll see one that says Hotspot right there. See where it says Hotspot? So if I click on Hotspot, it goes there. Now it's giving me an arrow saying where do you want to go when the person touches this or clicks on this. You see the crazy arrow right there? See it? So what I want is not necessarily for it to go to a new area of this page, which you could go and have it go to like down below. Maybe it's a big long one like I was showing you, and you want it to jump down below. You could have it do that. But what I want it to do is go to the actual products page. And how did I do that? I actually, how did I do that? No, how did I do that? I had it, oh, there it goes. It has this little crazy arrow here. Hold on. And, no, what did I do? I clicked, and I clicked on this target here. See the little target right here? I don't know. I clicked, and it goes to this target, and then it says target here, and we want to do product page desktop. There, I don't know why it went over there, and it's kind of small. Maybe it needs to be the size of the thing here. There we go. I'm going to drag that hotspot around. Okay, so again, how did I do it? I don't know. I clicked on it. It said insert hotspot, and then I clicked, and it gave me this little arrow thing right here. And then in that arrow thing, I was able to target product page desktop. Then you can do an animation, which would be a wipe or swipe. You can see these basic animations here. Okay, so next I want to go to the product page. And when the person hits the home button, I want it to go back to the main page, the home page. To do that, I'm going to select the home button. I went to Insert, Hotspot, and I clicked on it. And then this one says Target Previous Artboard, and it'll go back to where it came from. You can have it go anywhere you want. You see it right here. I'm going to say Previous Artboard, which will go back to the original one. So if you want to test it, I'm going to go back to the home page, and I'm going to hit this preview button that's right here. See the little preview button right here? Boom, I hit the preview button. This is what it looks like. It previews it. And if I hit the tools button, boom, it goes to the tools page. And if I wanted to go back to the home page, boom, I hit the home page. Tools, home, tools, home, tools, home, tools, home. So it has a basic prototyping feature inside there. Again, it was under hotspot, and once you had the hotspot, you then had the ability to change where it goes. Lastly, how do I get this stuff out of here and into, let's say I'm programming this by hand. I'm going to type my HTML. I want to take the artwork that I have, and next week we'll go over a little bit more detail of how to get all the way. For today, let's just do one real quick way, but again, we're going to talk about, next week we'll talk about slicing and how to get the pieces out a little bit more detail. Today, let's just do a really quick one. So a really quick way to get things out of this program is to select the group or the artwork that you want and then go and export. To do that, let's say I want to get these buttons out. I want each one of these buttons to be a different piece of artwork. A PNG, we'll say, or JPEG or something. You'll notice that when you select an object right there, you should have the ability to make exportable. It's in the very lower, you can barely see it, I know, because of the screen, but it's down here. You can't see it, but there's a thing called make exportable right here, all the way down here. So again, I selected about, make exportable. That's a term, I don't know. Is that in the dictionary? I don't know. So if I go down there and I hit that, you'll see a little plus. I hit the little plus, I hit the plus, and notice how it brings up my artwork there. And then it's asking you how to save it, what format you want, PNG and JPEG, TIFF, WebP, PDF, ES, encapsulated PostScript file is what EPS stands for. Sorry, I'm getting a little tired here. Or SVG. So you have all these options here, and depending upon where or what you're doing, right? You might want a PDF if you're going to make an app, right? And things like that. PNG is great because it has the gradient and all that stuff right there. And then you just say export right here. Boom. And it'll ask you what you want to call it. You give it there. Don't use interlaced. I don't use interlaced anymore. And then save for web. In order to decrease the size, you want to discard. I don't know. PNG, isn't it? Let's put it on our desktop. And then hit save. What is the interlaced PNG? So back in the old days, let's go back in time. Go back in time to the slow internet. Anybody remember the days of slow internet? Well, back in the days of the slow internet, the dial-up days, we used to call them, there's a thing called interlacing, or in JPEG it's called progressive, which means as the file is being downloaded, it'll put a blurry version of it, and it'll get clearer, clearer, clearer. Usually there's like 3 levels to it. And it was it was the ability to do that so that people that had slow connection, they go, oh, there is an image, it's coming, it's downloading. And it'll get clear and interlacing here. The problem with that is it tends to cause problems nowadays. I tend to not do that, but that's where it comes from. So let me just put that on the desktop there so I don't check that. And you'll see it does put a bitmap. Oops. Here it is. It's right there. It's a PNG. Right there on your desktop. And then boom, you go in your HTML image tag or whatever tag you're using for an image. There's all kinds of new tags now, isn't there? Okay, I'm sorry I went through this a lot fast. We recorded it. You go back and watch. You should start working on your color layout this weekend. You don't want to sit around with your relatives on Thanksgiving Day, right? Go hide in your room and work on your layout. Yes? Go hide in your room. Hide in my room.